Hello podcast listeners, and thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Learn English with Natalie. I hope you have had a fantastic week. It is Friday today and I hope that you are ready for the weekend and that you have got some really nice plans for this weekend. My week's been a little bit busy. I've been in work every day this week. I still work full time as well as producing this podcast. This is more of a passion project, so I do hope that you enjoy it. I'm feeling very tired right now. I finished work at 12 o'clock today and now it's Friday. I'm at home recording this and I'm sat with my dog who is just snoozing away at my feet. So I hope that he's not going to interrupt. I hope that he stays asleep. So for this week's episode 4, we are going back to the phrasal verbs. Now I've had a few messages from listeners asking for more information about phrasal verbs and giving me some feedback on the layout of the lessons. And I've taken that on board, and thank you so much for reaching out to me. As I keep saying, this podcast is for you, so any feedback you can give me is very beneficial. Please keep in mind that the following lesson provides important information for the foundations of learning English. You may want to revisit this episode throughout your learning journey. You might want to consider keeping a journal or download the PDF activity sheet for your revision notes. All of the information about that is available in the show notes. And you can come back then and revisit this learning at any point later in your learning journey. Remember, the 2 top tips for learning a language are that consistency is key, and please do not be afraid to make mistakes. I am going to provide opportunities for speaking practice throughout the session, so please don't be afraid to have a go, whether you're listening in the car or you're on a run or if you're just on a walk. Maybe mutter it to yourself if you're on a walk, so people don't start looking at you. We're going to start with a quick recap on word families. Can you remember the different forms of this root word? Now, the root word I'm going to give you is teach. And I'm going to give you 3 sentences now where you need to fill in the blanks. He is a great blank. The root word is teach. What is another word linked to teach that would fit into that sentence? We're looking for a noun. He is a great teacher. If you said teacher, well done. She blanked the lesson well. So we're looking for a past tense verb for the word teach. She blanked the lesson well. If you said taught, she taught the lesson well, then well done, that is correct. Next one, his blank style is impressive. His blank style is impressive. That word would be teaching. His teaching style is impressive. Now, as mentioned at the start of the podcast, I have changed the layout of the lessons slightly based on your feedback. So I'm going to run through now what this episode is going to look like. Part 1 will be the introduction and the teaching points. Part 2 will be your vocabulary and speaking practice. Part 3 will be your listening practice. And part 4 will be your independent learning. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to use and understand more phrasal verbs and confidently use phrasal verbs in everyday conversation. Part 1, Introduction and Teaching Point. So let's remind ourselves of what a phrasal verb is. It is a verb that is combined with an adverb or a preposition, or sometimes both, to give a new meaning. Now, if that sounds complicated, please don't worry about the finer details, because phrasal verbs are basically everyday expressions that we use in everyday English conversations. For example, a verb with a preposition would be give up. The verb being give, the preposition is up. Together, that makes a phrasal verb give up. And a verb, adverb, and preposition together would be get on with. Verb being get, adverb is on, and preposition with. Get on with. Now, please remember, phrasal verbs can be used both formally and informally, but only where appropriate. Some phrasal verbs are not appropriate for formal conversations. Part 2, vocabulary and speaking practice. I am going to give you a phrasal verb. That phrasal verb is look up, The past tense is looked up. Can you say that? Look up. Past tense, looked up. The meaning of this phrasal verb is to search for information, especially in a book or online. For example, I need to look up the meaning of this word. Say the sentence out loud with me. I need to look up the meaning of this word. Let's say it again. I need to look up the meaning of this word. Well done. The second phrasal verb of this episode, run out of. I'll say that again. Run out of. And for the past tense, ran out of. I'll say that again. Ran out of. And the meaning of this phrasal verb is that you have used all of something and you don't have anything left. For example, we've run out of milk, so I need to buy more. Say it out loud with me. We've run out of milk, so I need to buy more. I'll say it one more time and more slowly. We've run out of milk, so I need to buy more. Well done. The next phrasal verb we're going to look at is take off. Can you say that? Excellent. The past tense of this phrasal verb is took off. Can you say that? Wonderful. The meaning of this phrasal verb is to remove something like clothing or for a plane to leave the ground. For example, there are two sentences for this example. The plane will take off at 6 p.m. Or, I need to take off my shoes. I'll say the first sentence again. The plane will take off at 6 p.m. Can you say that sentence? Fantastic. And the second sentence, repeat after me. I need to take off my shoes. Wonderful. Next phrasal verb of the day, pick up. The present tense is pick up, and the past tense version is picked up. Picked up. The meaning of this phrasal verb is to collect someone or something. Here's an example. Can you pick me up from the airport tomorrow? Can you pick me up? So I've separated pick up and put me in the middle because I'm talking about picking me up. Can you pick me up from the airport tomorrow? I'll say it one more time and then I want you to repeat after me. Can you pick me up from the airport tomorrow? Fantastic. Part 3 is your listening practice. I'm going to read a paragraph to you, and I want you to identify the phrasal verbs that I have said. I was supposed to take off early this morning for a meeting, but I had to pick up my colleague from the train station first. While I was waiting for her, I tried to look up some information we needed for the project, but my phone battery ran out of charge. So frustrating. Did you spot the phrasal verbs? I was supposed to take off. Well done if you spotted that. Take off early this morning for a meeting. But I had to pick up my colleague from the train station first. While I was waiting for her, I tried to look up, well done if you spotted that, look up some information we needed for the project, but my phone battery ran out of, it is now empty, it ran out of charge. So frustrating. Congratulations for listening to and learning those phrasal verbs for today. For your independent learning, I want you to use today's 4 phrasal verbs and write sentences that include a phrasal verb from this week's episode. So let me reiterate those points again. Look up, pick up, run out of, take off. I want you to write a sentence for each phrasal verb. Then I want you to practice saying your sentences each day, so you're getting good practice of saying those phrasal verbs every day. Please tag me on TikTok at Learn English with Natalie, because I love to see the work you are doing at home and the progress that you are making. Congratulations, you have completed today's lesson and I am so proud of you. If you want to learn English at a faster pace, you might want to consider joining my book club. If you have a look in the show notes, there is more information about my book club and how you can access this. And there is a 7-day free trial included so you can see if it's right for you. Please don't hesitate to contact me with any questions you have, and I really look forward to speaking to you next time. Have a great weekend and don't forget to tag me in any work you complete. I love to see the progress that you are making. Have a great weekend.